Let's get a little comfortable. Let's get a little personal. Let's get into it. This week's topic is how college killed my creativity. And I want to talk about it because I feel like a lot of people don't really share that perspective about traditional education and artistic endeavors. When I was in university, I didn't know what I wanted to study. I didn't know what I wanted to do. What I thought I knew was that college was the right choice. And I'd be a fool if I didn't attend, especially since I was selected in a really good school. I eventually settled on a major for art. To be honest, I'm not even sure what the title was, so we're just going to call it art for simplicity's sake. And I was really excited initially. I always wanted to be creative. I always wanted to do stuff like drawing and share my perspective and how I want to go about things. So it was a no-brainer. So I pursued art. And I remember the first art class that I attended was basic art. I went in there, we were in an art studio. It was like a small class to about a dozen students, including myself. Just being in that space felt surreal. It felt awesome. It felt right. As the semester continued and we actually started to experience the class, I remember our first assignment was to just draw these figures that were already laid out in the class. It was just various random props, really. I just started drawing, whatever the fuck I saw. I think I saw something like a shoe and a mask, and I was like, okay, I'll draw that one. And I started drawing it, and I was like, I guess this is cool. So it's like the first assignment. So nothing too out of the ordinary happens, but I remember eventually we started getting into like deeper things within art, like lighting and contour and all that jazz. And I just found it so weird. I remember there was this one assignment that we were doing in class, and my instructor told me, like, you're doing it wrong. And in my head, I'm like, how is this wrong? I know it sounds stupid because it's like, it's a class. There has to be a right and a wrong. But for me, the way my mindset is, I'm like, how can this be wrong? It's art. It doesn't mean that I'm doing something incorrect. Because I look at art from the lens of subjectivity. When somebody makes a song and it sounds objectively like shit, there's going to be a group of people who are going to be like, well, I think it's fucking awesome. You know what I mean? And that's what art means to me. There's no fucking rules to art. That experience and many more that followed from that course of just, you're doing this wrong, you're doing this wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, I don't like how you did this and that, and blah, 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 made shit feel so rigid as to what I was supposed to do when it came to drawing. And that rubbed me the wrong way. Art isn't supposed to be about right or wrong. It's about what it represents, what it means to you. And when people subject it to wrong or right or black and white, I see something completely wrong with that perspective. Imagine somebody was on the precipice of making something so beautiful, but because it didn't fall under the criteria of what was right, they didn't follow through with it. And now the world is devoid of not seeing that art. That's what rubs me the wrong way about college and how it killed my creativity, because there was a right way of doing things and there was a wrong way of doing things. To make things simple, to not beat a dead horse, I think it's bullshit. I don't think that there is a right, there is a wrong. It's a feeling thing. And no one can tell you how to feel. That's the beauty about art. Yes, you can teach people how to do things in a way where it can produce a quality product, but to just minimize it and just define it as right or wrong is wrong. That is an aspect that killed the creativity from me with college. I was so in my head with this class where I would always second guess myself on the drawings that I would have to submit for class. We would have to show the class what we did and what we produced for the assignment. And people would just critique it live, which is fine. You know what I mean? Critique is a great part of art and refining it. But it's just like, when you already set the playing field as, no, this is the right way, this is the wrong way. And if you do it the wrong way, I'm going to critique the shit out of you. It was nerve-wracking. And that is not a good place for artists or creative to succeed. I don't believe that creative people should go to college. This is going to be one of my controversial opinions. I'm sorry to those that, feel a little bit feisty in the comments down below, but I don't think creative people should go to college because it's going to just reinforce ideas of right and wrong. And that's not what you should be focused on, because you should be focusing on what matters to you and what you want to make, not professor with 10 years experience telling you what to do and what is right and what is wrong. You're supposed to find those answers for yourself within the journey of creativity. So I feel like college kind of just makes a lot of creative people miss that part of the journey. And it's just becomes self-loathing of like, oh, am I good enough? I don't think I'm good enough. Professor X thinks I'm doing this wrong and blah, 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 blah. Art isn't supposed to have limits. It's not supposed to be confined in one particular person's box. I feel like a lot of creative people need to understand that, especially if you're a creative person that is currently in college. I'm not trying to say be a narcissist, ignore what everyone says. Opinions matter. Critique matters. But people who have this system that force this system should not be people you should listen to, regardless of what type of experience they have. People are probably going to get upset in the comments below about this opinion. But like I said, it's my opinion. Regardless if it's wrong, regardless if it's right, I'm going to share it because these videos are just insights of how I think and how I feel, regardless if it gets me in a situation where I'm defending myself in the comments, because I'm trying to give my authentic take on things. Because I feel like that's the only take that matters, not the one that you want to hear. But I have a few papers that I found that I wrote in college about how I felt, how confused I was, and what I wanted to do. And I think it's important that I read it because, weirdly enough, I still feel the same way, but I know where to direct it. By the way, this was a course that I was forced to take because of the program I was under. The teacher was really nice. She was amazing, but it was like a college career development class. Just so you know, after completing this activity, my feelings of my future career and major have become much harder to find. While doing this assignment, I felt misunderstood and that I was unable to find things I'm interested in. For instance, I'm a person that wants to be creative and use my creativity to produce various things in life. But the Focus 2 surveys and questions were unable to figure out a definitive career path for me. To be honest, the impression this whole task left me with is hopelessness. It made me feel like there are no career paths for the things that interest me and that I am essentially wasting my time. In my opinion, I personally feel that I should retake all 5 of the assessments on Focus 2 again, but at a slower pace, in order to truly understand the questions that are being asked. The problem with being a college student that is undeclared is that a lot of things interest me, but it is difficult to narrow it down to one specific career choice. I don't know what it is I intend to do in life, and these assessments only made me unsure of my future. That was written on September 17, 2019. This was basically my first year in college, and I was undeclared. I didn't know what to do. And I was instructed to take a assessment to narrow down what type of career path is likely for me. And after taking that assessment, I was left more confused than having any direction. A month later, on October, we were instructed to do another assignment, but this time pick various careers. I believe I picked graphic design, architect, maybe video game designer or something. And we were supposed to basically write about the salary, what the job entails, traits, all that jazz. But I want to highlight how I was feeling after writing about these various careers. In this current course, I'm currently still conflicted as to what it is I want to do and pursue. I'm not sure about the career choice I want to pursue or the major I'm trying to get educated on. I'm essentially still at a crossroads. I know that I want to pursue a job that allows me freedom to create and be imaginative. But I am still not sure what career path would allow me those liberties. I like to produce things in an artistic way. That is why I believe the occupation of graphic designer resonated with me. It is very important that I find the job enjoyable, because I do not want to have a career that feels like a job. I want a career that I enjoy to do on a daily basis. I'm not certain that being a graphic designer will be the occupation and career choice I want to pursue in life. Even though I have an amateur skill set in the work field, does not mean that I want to dedicate my life towards the production of logos and various other products for clients. It is fascinating, but still have some limitations to it. I would be designing the product for them, but to their description. The issue I have with these career paths is the fact that it allows the individuals to utilize their skill sets, such as the skill of using graphic software applications, drawing skills, etc. But it still feels very limited. At this point, I'm unaware of what it is I want to study and pursue during my 4 years here at. So, even after taking that course for career planning or career development, I honestly don't remember what the class was called. I was confused. I didn't know what I wanted. I didn't know what career path aligned with what I did want to do. All I knew is that I wanted to be creative. And I foolishly thought before that the only way to be creative is by drawing. So I just defaulted in art. Everything that I told you before about my basic art class that transpired just drove me further away from wanting to pursue anything in college. I guess the takeaway for this week's video is create things not because somebody tells you this is the right way or this is the wrong way of doing it. Create it because you want to create it. Create it because it's your passion to create it. Create it because it's a project that you want the world to see. Don't worry about its faults. Don't worry about its errors. Don't worry about its imperfections. Because the reality is, art is imperfect. That's the best thing about art. Hopefully you guys got something out of this. I know I did. And it was sort of bittersweet going down memory lane of my time in college. Because without it, I wouldn't be here right now doing what I actually want to do, which is this. Being creative, making videos, and just trying. Not because I know how to, not because I'm really good at it, but because I want to. That's the important part. That's the best part. I'm pretty tired. It's currently 2 a.m. as I record this because your boy is lacking. But this video is going to go up Friday, which is now. Let your boy know what type of topics you'd like to hear. I've got a laundry list full of them, but let your boy know. That's pretty much it for me for this week's Yoski Talks. Oh my God, he said the title. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take it easy. Bye-bye.